Hello and welcome to Not PaintShop Pro with Jane. Today's video is a little bit different as it's concentrating on how I struggle, I think would be the word, with making paper projects, even though I do enjoy doing them. This is a teacher appreciation gift. My brief was make a jigsaw puzzle piece that said thank you for being part of my learning. I've already done the work in PaintShop Pro. We're off to do the videoing with the phone and I'm afraid it is out of focus, and for that I'm sorry. But I'm not really showing you in great detail like I do in PaintShop Pro how I'm doing this. I really just want to give you a sense of how little movement and mobility I have in my arms and how I still manage to produce something that's passable to be able to give to other people. Here I'm sticking my pre-printed tag piece, jigsaw puzzle piece, down on the Silhouette mat to feed it through. I'm hoping the sun doesn't interfere with my registration marks. Sometimes when it comes in at the wrong angle through the window it interferes. But I think all goes well with this one, and I cut out a bit of the messing about. You don't want to see all of my struggles. Here I'm just peeling off the excess card and I'm breathing a sigh of relief that it's done it. My Silhouette mat isn't as sticky as it could be. It's getting a little old, but I'm loath to break out the new one because they're so sticky in the very beginning. And I remember when I first started using this one, the card would come off all rolled up because it was so sticky, and I peeled it off and it wouldn't be flat anymore. I've grabbed my craft knife here with the very sharp blade. I found a new blade for it and I have to be careful I don't slice my fingers off. But it does help for just getting up edges of pieces that you've cut so that you don't bend them or damage the corners if there's delicate corners. So I'm just pulling off the separate little jigsaw piece that I've cut out, and I think that's probably it for this. I'm going to put the knife away before I do myself some damage, and we'll be moving on next to, oh no, first I'm going to show you. There it says thank you, and you can see the bottom right hand piece is missing. This is just a little insert of me setting up the cut for the craft cardstock. It was really to show you how little my hand moves when I'm using a mouse, although to be honest it was probably a bit quick. Here I'm checking to see if it's cut enough before I remove the mat. Oh, and I'm showing you my lovely sunny day outside. Yes, that's quite enough of that. Let's get on with the real work. Here's the thank you piece again. I've whipped out my Herma repositionable. I do love this stuff, mainly because it's repositionable. And I've left this in its entirety, again because it shows you how little movement I have in my hands. Individual fingers don't move. I sort of bat pieces of paper around, encourage them to swizzle and twizzle. Sometimes if they need to be held in position, I'll employ my ample abdomen and chest area to hold things in place. Today that wasn't necessary. Herma is great for everyday projects. The only time I use really permanent sticky glue, liquid glue, or even the red line tape is when it's something that really needs to hold together, like a box or something. But for tags and cards, I don't think you can go wrong with Herma. And it comes into its own any minute now when my first attempt at putting it on the craft card base goes a little awry and I don't get it exactly where I want, and so I have to peel it up. I did try using the grid lines on the craft mat, but it's odd. My hands, because of the way that they work, my fingers knock things out of the way. I can line it up perfectly, and then by the time I'm trying to put whatever it is on top, one of my fingers underneath will do something weird and knock it all astray anyway. So in the end, I just have to go with, does that look all right to my eye, rather than trying to be perfect. And mostly it works out, and yeah, it does look all right. So eventually I do get this down. You can see I'm wiggling and waggling about, trying to keep that piece in place. You might say, well, why don't I try and fix that down somehow? Because I need things to move in little increments to be able to reach them and get it right. It's hours of fiddling, really. Here I am, I've just found some Hermer on the front there, but it brushes off, and I'm pressing it down, and that will stick perfectly well for a tag. There'll be nothing wrong with that. And I'm now going to fiddle around and flip it up so you can have a little look. There it is, the printed bit with the cutout. And now we're going to make the little pieces, and I've got them together here, and it's back with the Hermer. Get it into the old hand, get that hand gripped around it. Oh yes, finally we're off. And here I am putting the pieces, twizzling it round, putting as much on as I can. Yep, that'll do. Throw that out the way, pick it up, and then have another session of fiddling, trying to get it lined up with the hole and in line and everything. I have to say today I don't think my fingers and thumbs were working as well as some other days. But yeah, there we go. Oh yeah, that'll do. Let's press that down. Yes, we'll call that done. See, here's why I would never make videos really. I can't show you what I'm doing. Look how long it takes me to pick that up. Right, next we're on to the bit of string, and boy do we have fun with the string. I unwind it. First I decide I'm going to do this double. I think I ought to use it double. So I fold it double, and then I'm going to spend a couple of minutes, well, maybe it's not minutes, threading it through the hole. Now I did make the hole quite large because I know I can't thread things through little tiny holes, so it is plenty big enough to get through this baker's twine. I think I'm using Stampin' Up baker's twine that I had left over from a long time ago. I don't think this one is Island Indigo. I don't think it's available anymore, but they do have others that you could probably use, and let's face it, there's lots of baker's twine out there. Here's where I decide any second now, I don't need this double. You're using far too much twine here. Yep, rip that off, pull it through, have a fiddle, yep, and now thread just one bit through your tag. So here we go. At least, you know, I'm getting the hang of it. Let's face it, I'm not really a paper crafter. I'm a digital girl. You know, in PaintShop Pro I'd have had this done by now. So now I'm working out what length I want, and oh yeah, let's get rid of that. Oh, scissors. Yeah, let's get them in the hand. Oh no, wrong piece. Which bit? Yep, there. Let's cut that bit. Have we done it? Yes. Oh goodness, at last. And now it's knot tying. I can only tie knots when they're in front of me on something flat like this. Don't ask me to do shoes or bows or anything, goodness me. So let's thread one end through. I'm going to have a go at, yeah, there we go. Look, I'm going to try and show you a little bit more of how my fingers and thumbs don't work, because I'm sure you're extremely interested. And I do a good knot once I get going, I have to say. It's just that I have a bit of trouble persuading the ends to go through on this first one. And I did decide I was going to do a double knot. So I tie the two ends together first and pull it through. And yeah, here we go, any minute now. There we go, she's managed it. So that's my first one. And then I think if I can tie another one and it land on exactly on top, that'll look really good. It'll be a good solid knot, that will. So I have another fiddle, and I do actually manage it eventually. In fact, it goes through the hole a bit easier because it's already been tied, so that was something. And then I just fiddle it into place so that the second knot lands on top of the first. And there we go, I've got a decent knot. I'm quite proud of that knot. That's a good bit of work for a Friday morning. And that's it. It's very simple. Anybody else would probably have made this in about 5 minutes flat altogether, and I did cut one extra piece because I was going to make 2 tags, one with white card, but I'm afraid that was a bit of a disaster. And I'm just going to flip it up so you can have a bit of a look at it. In a moment you'll see a photo which is much better. There we go. I haven't edited the photo so that you know that when I do print and cut, my colours that you see on screen usually turn out to be what I get when I print on my white cardstock. But this is the finished tag. I'm actually quite pleased with it, and all in all it's not bad for a Friday morning's work when I was sitting here feeling sorry for myself with a sore throat and a headache. You can find the cut files for this project if you'd like them on my blog. I'll put the links below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time when I think we'll stick with PaintShop Pro, eh? What do you think?